This is Susan Bassey. I want to take you on a First Amendment audit that's taken our team 2 years to produce. This is an audit of the Monterey County Courthouse and the Monterey County Sheriff's Department, which operates security for the courthouse. We have audited their training, and we've evaluated the judges as well as the officers of the court, otherwise known as the attorneys working in the courthouse.
False statements about me in a court of law. You're a licensed attorney. That's barred by Professional Code 6068, in case you weren't aware of that code, and it's also a misdemeanor.
You might be asking yourself why divorce attorney Debra Crawford, who advertised herself as a mediator and works in private judging cases in Monterey County, would be standing outside the Monterey County Courthouse covering her face with a scarf, while her assistant and the man she's with filmed me trying to interview her. Perhaps Miss Crawford was embarrassed by the fact that she married her own divorced client's former husband. Yes, you heard that correctly. She married the former husband of her own divorced client. And it was when I asked about that she did this with her briefcase. In case you think you missed something, let me slow this down and show it to you and explain it one more time. Very, very slowly.
Ms. Crawford, do you have a comment about marrying the former husband of your client?
Okay.
She wants to videotape me?
Are you with media?
I am with the media. I'm a member of the press.
Okay.
Not that I have to explain that I'm a member of the press in order to ask a divorce attorney questions about a divorce case she's handling in a public courthouse. And it seemed to me that the Monterey County Sheriff's Department were a little confused about who they had to protect and what they were protecting them from. But I certainly had a right to ask Ms. Crawford any question that I wanted to.
Former husband of your...
Our audit wasn't limited to asking questions of Ms. Crawford. We got the divorce files, we got the retainer agreement, and we even got photos off the internet of Ms. Crawford and her new husband. We did media requests, which were granted for several hearings. We saw the judges in this case, and we couldn't believe that these judges would not be concerned how it could be that a divorce attorney ended up marrying the husband of a former client. Despite what you see on television, media requests must be made in order to film inside a courtroom. A judge must grant the media request, and sometimes they put limitations on those requests. We did everything according to the law. And we monitored the clerks, the bailiffs, and everything going on inside that courtroom. And while we certainly were under no obligation, we even took the time to explain the process to the sheriffs, who seemed very confused.
A new newspaper that's coming out covering family law issues, and we're doing a featured piece on domestic violence. This is a domestic violence issue, and unpublished journalistic work is protected under the penal code, and while we're getting it together and doing it all the way that we're supposed to, so I have court orders that I've been able to file. This is my file on the tape. So there is a form if you're going to do a media request to cover a hearing. There is a form that you file, and it's under the rules of court. And I filed the first one in this case in April of 2017. Here it is. This was under my production company.
You filed it, and was it approved?
Yeah, the judge signed off, and
okay.
I was allowed.
So it says media agency name.
That is my company, and that is me, and I have my California ID on me if you'd like to see it.
That's what we should. Okay.
And
so for like later.
So some counties give press credentials, and since I just started covering this case here, if you want me to go to the Monterey police, I'm happy to do that.
No. If you're not seen, we don't know you.
I know. You shouldn't really know. really. I'm just here to
Well-
cover the information and get it to the public. So it's not about me. It's about disseminating information to
Okay.
the public. So I have court
Glad you have
orders.
that paperwork to
Yep.
do that. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
While this encounter happened nearly 2 years ago, I find that police officers in California assigned and contracted with courthouses have no idea how to read an order for recording in a courtroom. And most of them have no idea about the laws about recording police in public spaces and our right to film attorneys coming and going to the courthouses.
Okay. Let's keep
He
walking.
wants to videotape me.
Are you with me?
In this case, and
Yes.
what did they know that Debra Crawford had represented you in your divorce and then married your husband?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you tell me how they handled that? Did they?
From the hundreds of reporters that I have surveyed, most have a policy of not covering family law cases. And it is for this reason that the public is ill-informed when it comes to our divorce and custody cases. And yet it is in these cases that the greatest abuses occur before a single judge, not a jury. And where it is possible for one divorce attorney to marry her former client's ex-husband, become the stepmother to her children, and make sure that support that was ordered by that final judgment is never paid. We continue to ask how it could be that the judges in Monterey County could have allowed this to go on, that a doctor, a convicted felon related to his medical practice, could marry the divorce attorney of his former wife and then hire Catherine Dorset to help him get out of his support obligations to his own children. This is Catherine Dorset.
My gosh, you're gonna put a child on the internet? That's like, oh, you didn't.
Julie Law stood by her husband during his criminal convictions. She helped pay for his legal bills. And a few years later, she was assisting victims of 9/11 in the cleanup, which has given her cancer. Tomorrow, she will appear by telephone at a hearing in Monterey County, where Catherine Dorset will again try to assist her client, Dr. Annis, in avoiding his spousal support payments and his obligations to his own children. Julie Law's story isn't one about fighting spouses or a woman scorned. It's about a terribly broken system. It's about a system that allowed a woman to get a divorce in just a year and then spend 10 years trying to collect from that divorce without an attorney. It's about two divorce attorneys, Catherine Dorset and Debra Crawford, being allowed to weaponize their bar cards against a mother, and judges who sat by and watched it happen. There was no state bar discipline. The judges were not held accountable, and the lawyers in Monterey County knew what was going on. It is a fact that Dr. Annis is a convicted felon and continues to practice medicine, and Debra Crawford married the former husband of one of her clients, got a restraining order against that client, and continues to practice law. It was when I asked Debra Crawford about marrying the husband of her former client that she slammed her briefcase down and felt the need to record me. It was interesting to me that she felt she needed transparency, and it was for that reason, and it was her actions, that made me realize we needed to audit this case more than any other case we had ever seen, and we will continue to do so until Julie Law finally gets justice, because the courts know we're watching.